talk about Nicolas Füllkrug today, and I'm going to talk about Callum Wilson tomorrow because I think Callum Wilson very much deserves his own video. That much is for sure. It can't have been easy for him joining West Ham, and so many people, myself included, did not want him to join, and made our opinions quite vocal. And well, he's a match winner, and we need all the match winners we can get. And fair play to him. So we'll talk about him tomorrow, but I want to talk about Niclas Füllkrug because it's annoyed me. He has annoyed me quite a lot because, quite frankly, yesterday looked like he couldn't be asked, and I'm surprised about that. Really, I am surprised. He wants a transfer. We know he wants a transfer. His agent, Thorsten Wirth, that's his name. He said that he wants his client to leave in January. He said that the transfer has not worked out, and we know a lot of the German media, so I can only assume that, again, they've been briefed by the Füllkrug team that he wants to leave, that Bundesliga clubs are interested, and so on and so forth. So I get it. I understand it. I even understand that it's not worked out for him. One of the things, and I'm not about to spend ages labouring the point, I didn't like was the way that the narrative had been spun that actually had to leave to get German caps. He's got German caps whilst at West Ham, all right, and his injuries have been sustained by and large whilst he's on international duty. So I just thought it didn't play true. If you want to leave, if you want to say you're unsettled, if you'd rather, if you think you don't want to be in a relegation scrap, there's any number of just want to go home. There's any number of excuses that you could give for wanting to leave West Ham. I just don't believe that using the excuse, I want to play international football, is one of them, because every time you've been fit since you joined West Ham, you've been selected by Germany, right? So there you go. What I did expect, though, if we just all accept that he wants to leave, was that he'd probably try and put himself in the shop window. So I think if you'd have asked me, what do I think will happen up until now, until January, it would be, well, I think we might see the best of Füllkrug now because he's going to be highly motivated and he's going to want to get himself that move to that Bundesliga club. What I didn't expect to see was what we saw yesterday. That was absolutely unacceptable. I think I've got over the way we tactically, I felt the way we tactically gave Bournemouth the game yesterday. I've listened to Espírito Santo's post-match press conference, his interview. He was talking about team togetherness, commitment. He's absolutely right, by the way. All of those things are in abundance. Those players threw themselves on the line. If you're, it's quite clear. You can see the difference. The difference is night and day how much they're giving for Nuno and how much they were giving for Graham Potter. There really is no comparison at all. They're undoubtedly 100% behind him. I thought we could have won the game. I thought at 2-0 up we could have won the game, and I don't think the tactics helped at all. And I think him bringing on Füllkrug was an admission of his own mistake as well. Gio alluded to the same thing when he did his review. And I also understand that the circumstances of how we were playing in the second half, probably not what you want as a striker. But that's where my sympathy ends, because you've got to come on and you've got to do a job for your team. Because as much as I don't think the tactics suited Niclas Füllkrug, well, I'll tell you what, they didn't suit Jarrod Bowen either. Yet Jarrod Bowen was, well, I thought Jarrod Bowen, in terms of his commitment, in terms of his teamwork, in terms of his endeavour, I thought was pretty faultless, actually. The way he was trying to carry the ball up the pitch, try and win a foul, trying to buy his defensive breather, allow us the opportunity as the defenders to move just 10 yards further up the pitch, I thought was brilliant. That's what we needed from Füllkrug. Granted, not the same way, maybe not trying to dribble past 3 or 4 players, but make yourself available for the ball, demand the ball. When we don't have the ball, sprint and close people down, and demand the ball. And when you do get the ball, buy your defence some time, buy your teammates some time. It infuriates me a lot of time with Paqueta. It's something Paqueta's really good at is just winning the foul sometimes and buying us a bit of breathing space. That particular trait of Paqueta is going to be very, very important in the running if we're going to survive relegation. And make no mistake about it, 3 games undefeated is pretty damn good. But we needed team players. We needed someone to battle. So whilst I would understand that Füllkrug doesn't want to be here, okay, whilst I understand this is probably not the team you want to play in that particular game, if you want to score some goals and put yourself in the shop window. I understand that, and I have sympathy for that. But you still have a job to do and put yourself and put your body on the line for the team. He did none of that. The way he was strolling around, the way he was walking around like he couldn't be asked, it actually infuriated me. It infuriated me. I think I wrote me player ratings after. I think, and this was during. I obviously typing it during the game, and I wrote shambolic. It was shambolic. It was shambolic, shocking. I couldn't believe it. And it's always interesting and quite stark when you've got a contrast, isn't it? So you've got that contrast there, which is everyone. I can't think of anyone that didn't put loads of effort in. Then you've got someone that clearly isn't. It just becomes so much more defined, a separation between them. I mean, I'll tell you the stats. I've got the stats because we always do a player ratings over on Patreon. We do that. We tend to do it on the Monday. We tend to look at we look at the Y Scout scouting report, which helps give some of the ratings and whatnot. And I was looking at the Y Scout report ahead of tomorrow, and I looked at Fullkrug's, and I can tell you the stats. In fact, I'll tell you the stats right now. Successful actions, 4 out of 10. Duels, passes, 60% pass rate. Basically, tried 5 passes, completed 3. Contested 1 header, lost it. Loose balls, duels. Yeah, I mean, he lost the ball 3 times. So, I mean, it wasn't just that, though. It wasn't just that. But I'm actually looking at the statistics now. And Luis Guilherme, who I actually thought up to that point was West Ham's worst player, and I just don't think the conditions suited him at all. I felt a bit sorry for him, really, but he made the most of it, and he really battled, and he had a go. And I felt he wasn't physical enough. I felt he didn't do very well with the conditions. Looking at Luis Guilherme's stats, Luis Guilherme's pass accuracy is 10 out of 10. He's 100% pass accuracy. So, but he tried, and he had effort there. And I think there's going to be some suggestion that Fullkrug, well, he wasn't match fit. Well, is he ever? Is he ever match fit? I don't know. A lot of people have never been match fit, but they put in an effort and they look like they try. At least run until you're exhausted. Because I'll tell you something, I don't think Luis Guilherme is probably match fit, but you know what? He's young, so he's probably got natural fitness. What about Igor? Igor can't be match fit. He joined he joined us in August, or whatever. And he's not played. He joined us in the summer. It's what it feels like the bloody winter, to be fair now. He's barely played. He can't be match fit. He's only training fit, which is what Fullkrug is, but he ran around like he didn't run around. He ran around a bit. He couldn't be asked. The one time where I thought he put on a little bit of sprint was when Bowen went for a dribble, and then Fullkrug was running down that right hand side, and he got fouled. Didn't he? Bowen? It was a professional foul. Bowen got fouled. Then I thought he was semi-interested then because there was maybe. It was so far away and he's not fast enough. I don't think he would have got to the goal, but maybe because there was a chance for a goal, he might have been interested. And this is the difference between. I'll speak primarily about Wilson tomorrow, but the difference between them. Wilson didn't have much to do in that game. Looking at the stats, very, very, very little. Very, very little. In fact, let me just go and look at his passing. Callum Wilson's passing. Just looking at it there. Callum Wilson's passing. In the whole game, so he played 56 minutes. He attempted 3 passes and completed 1, right? So you can actually make the argument that in terms of involvement, Fullkrug has, had more involvement than Wilson did. But Wilson is canny enough to know to put himself in a position, and actually, if that chance comes, he's going to be there. And that was encouragement enough. That should be, if you're a striker looking at Wilson, that should be encouragement enough for you to think, well, you know what? We might not be doing particularly well in this game, but a chance might come. And if it is, I'm going to do what he did. But he never played like that. And when the chances weren't coming, unlike Wilson, he wasn't putting himself in there and trying to scrap. And you almost can't. There's no comparison between the two. But I just was annoyed with it, really, because we deserve, as fans, we deserve better. And I feel his teammates deserve better. You look at the way, honest, the effort from people like Todibo, the effort from Bowen was off the chart, actually. The effort from Fernandez in that. Do you know what? I did not like the substitutions, any of them. I didn't like Walker Peters coming on. I didn't like what happened with Souček. But you could not question their effort. They just went in there and they battled. Was it pretty? No. Should we have been doing it? No, because the tactics were all wrong at that point. And he stitched himself up there, Nuno. But Souček and Walker Peters put in just as much effort as everybody else. It was just really stark. There was just this one player who just wasn't playing for the team. And it is a weird one now. And I looked at it and I thought, well, hold on a second. Maybe I've thought about this wrong. So here's my little conspiracy theory. So in my own mind, I think if Fullkrug plays well, then he gets himself a transfer, right? Okay, so there's that. But here's what we know about it. He's on such big money. I think he wants his cake and eat it. I think he still wants big money, but he wants to leave West Ham. He's got an option to leave because Bundesliga clubs want him, but they can't pay the money that West Ham pay. So the club have come out and say if he wants to leave, he'll need to take a pay cut. I wonder if he's now making himself almost so useless because the club obviously don't want to make a loss on him. And if he's only going to go out on loan by the looks of it, they don't want to be paying his wages. I just wonder if he's now putting himself in a situation where even Nuno will just turn around to Sullivan or whoever and just say, look, even though you might have to pay half his wages, get him out of here. I can't have him around. I can't have him in the team. I can't use him. I can't, because anyone would have been better than him. And I think he might be learned his lesson. I know that Callum Marshall was not the most physical striker in the world, but he would have run around. He would have given us more yesterday. We'd have got more bringing on Georgia, but I think I would have liked us to have brought on George Earthy anyway. But I'm just saying there wasn't a lot on that bench for him to bring on, but almost anyone would have been better than that. And I'm not being funny here. I think if you'd have, I even think that that if you'd have put Igor up front for the last however 20 odd minutes that Fullkrug was on, I think he probably would have done a better job, would have put in more effort. And this is the situation we are, and I think he'll know that now. And because Nuno will know that now, I would not be surprised if he doesn't select him again. And I just wonder if that is ultimately what will get Fullkrug out. And actually thinking about it, making himself unusable might be a better exit strategy for him than scoring a couple of goals and West Ham saying no, whoever, Wolfsburg or whoever wants him, if you don't pay him, if you don't give us 120 grand a week, you're not having him. I just wonder if he gets a situation now. Go, do you know what? Just take him. We'll subsidise 60 grand a week just to get rid of him. I just wonder if that's what's happening. I don't know. Look, I mean, that's my conspiracy theory. I've made that up in my own head. There's nothing to say that that's true or not. Maybe he's just incapable. But I think there's a difference between that and trying. I think I've been watching. I might miss a lot of the nuances and whatnot, but I think I know enough to know when someone's trying or not and looking like they can be asked, and it didn't look like it could be asked. Hey, just my opinions. Right, I'm going to let you, a lovely lot, get on with your Sunday now. I'm going to go and walk the dog. We'll be back tomorrow for our Patreon player ratings, and I'm sure that the fellas will be along with a video giving you their thoughts on yesterday's game. Yeah, I did look at it and I thought, oh man, I read some of the comments. Thought, yeah, maybe I was disappointed, but I was disappointed. I thought we'd thrown it away, but yeah, there's no. I think, I still think Nuno's the man for the job. I'm very happy with him. Just disappointment having let a 2-goal lead slip there. Really. I thought they were down. I thought we had them down. I thought we had our foot on their throats, Bournemouth. I think we let them back into that. So that's what I was disappointed about. But, yes, an away point at a Vitality without Paqueta and Somerville. And I think that's what annoyed me. The difficult thing going into that game was losing Paqueta and Somerville. He did it. He sorted it out. He got a tactic and we were all right. And then he went and shifted from that, which was a bit of a shame. But what it does show as well, yes, he played his part, and he was at fault. He was at fault for that not being a win, but he also, got it so right at the start. It got us a draw. What it does show is the lack of depth in the squad. We need that, and we do need more attacking players. We just still need more pace in that team. We really, really do. Anyway, right, I love you and leave you now. I will catch you lot tomorrow morning.